The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over with no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
That like button would tell me where you at. You know, Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knicks family. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the morning recap. The Knicks won another one. They beat Orlando 115-102 at Madison Square Garden, and we're about to get into it. I'm going to do my best to keep it between 30 minutes, 40 minutes the most, but I love interacting with the chat, and it does take some time because I'm here by myself to kind of sort through the comments in the chat and highlight them. But I like doing that. You guys take the time to come and watch the show, and I like to take the time to acknowledge you, read what you're saying in the chat, acknowledge it, and incorporate it into the show. So let's get right into it. All right. So coming into the game, the Knicks were 1-1. Remember, we lost that overtime game at Memphis. Then we beat Detroit, blew out Detroit at Madison Square Garden. Right now, we're 8th in the standings. Coming into the game was 8th in the standings. But again, it's so early. But I just like to put this here so we can kind of get used to what the flow is going to be. Offensive rating coming into the game was 7th. Defensive rating coming into the game was 7th in the league. The Orlando Magic came into this game 0-3. Last in the Eastern Conference, again, early in the season, 22nd in offensive rating, 20th in defensive rating. They started Cole Anthony, Terrence Ross, the vet, France Wagner, second-year player, Banchero, a rookie, and Wendell Carter Jr., who's been in the league for some time. And for us, it was the usual starters: Jalen Brunson, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. And they played the bulk of the minutes. I mean, the bench played very well for us. We'll get into it. But I think the bench played maybe 15, maybe 15 minutes. All right. So Quentin Grimes remains out. Randle, very efficient game. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 52.6% from the field. Did not shoot well from three, and still shot 52.6% from the field. So just imagine had he shot better from the field, what his field goal percentage would have been like. Continues to make the right decisions, continues to make quick decisions. Perfect? No. But really good? Yes. Brunson doing Brunson things. 21 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 50% from the field, also 50% from the three-point line, and 100% from the free throw line. This is what we, those of us who wanted him, this is what we thought he would bring in terms of his efficiency and his leadership and decision making, and he hasn't disappointed at all. You can argue that he's been our best player. I think he has been, as well as Randall's been playing. I think Brunson has been our best player. R.J. Barrett, 20 points, 6 rebounds. He had an assist. I thought he had more than that. I thought he passed the ball pretty good last night. Another night in which he did not shoot well. We'll get into Barrett a little more a little later in the show. The Knicks shot 46.2% from the field. We're not shooting well from the three-point line. 29, basically 30% last night. Orlando, Jalen Suggs was out. Jonathan Isaacs is still injured. But Banchero, the rookie, 21 points, 4 rebounds, shot 46% from the field. Bobo, right? Came off the bench, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 blocks. Looking really fluid out there at what, 7'2", 7'3", whatever it is. Wendell Carter Jr., 17 points, 11 rebounds, shot 50% from the field. They did not shoot well, right? the Knicks had something to do with that. They shot 42% from the field, 20%, 20% from the 3-point line. They still put them up though. They took 35 3-pointers. They made 7. Shout out to the chat, Jermaine Royster, who was here as soon as I logged on. I appreciate you. Sanga Waldron, appreciate you. S. Brooklyn, good morning to you. JJ, Pudge Nice, I'm sure. Appreciate you. Dripmore, D Worlds of Hoops. I appreciate you rocking with me tonight. And Paris Duggar, yes, we're going to talk about quickly a little in a little bit. Dwayne Wilson, Trav B. I appreciate you. I like the little skit you had on Randall. The Randall. I'm not sure if it's the theme song yet. I think you said the theme song was coming, but I appreciate you. I appreciate that clip on Twitter. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into my observations for the game. And listen, keep in mind, I may see some things that you didn't see. I may have liked some things that you didn't see. I mean, that's what, we're not going to all see the same things. We're not going to all agree. But these are just my general observations from the game. The Knicks continue to move the ball and move their bodies. And that's something that I hope continues. Remember, we saw a lot of that last year in preseason. We saw a lot of that our first few games of the season, and then the clock struck 12, and we reverted back to that really slow pace, methodical, hold the ball team. I'm very encouraged that won't happen this time. With Brunson on the team, and the team just seems committed to moving the ball and moving their bodies. Tibbs talked about it. Just trying to keep up with the league and what the league is doing, as well. I know when I went to their open practice, they were practicing with just 14 seconds on the shot clock, really focusing on, getting shots up earlier in the shot clock. And I believe it was Johnny Bryant. No, well, whoever she was, Harlow spoke to Johnny Bryant and how he talked about, they have less than 8 seconds in practice to get the ball over half court or it's a turnover. So there's different things that they're doing in practice behind the scenes to really keep it going as far as our pace, which has dipped some, right? We're 20th in pace now. So it's dipped some from preseason from the first 2 games. So the Knicks are probably shooting a little later, in the shot clock, but that's okay. They're still moving the ball and moving their bodies on offense. And for the most part, everybody played within the flow of the game, which is super important. Now, I thought RJ forced a few shots, like the end of the quarter. I don't know if it was the first or second quarter, where he went coast to coast with his head down and bowled, block the shots. But for the most part, everybody has been playing within the flow of the offense, including IQ, who played fantastic. And we're going to talk about him in the player spotlight. After 3 games, the Knicks are 6th in points, 8th in offensive rating, 7th in defensive rating, 10th in assists. I think we were 29th or 30th in assists last season. Orlando was scrappy. I don't think the score really tells the story. This was a scrappy team. They stayed in the game because of their ability to get to the foul line, their conversion of second chance points. They brought it close a few times. They went ahead by 1 or 2 points once or twice in the game. But the difference is the Knicks answered. The bench extended the lead when they came in that second quarter. When they went up, I believe it was in the third quarter, by 1 or 2 points, 1 or 2 times, it was Brunson himself who answered the call, right? With the fadeaway mid-range shot. So Orlando was scrappy. They played Boston and Atlanta well. I'm pretty sure they didn't come into this game down on themselves. I'm pretty sure they came to here saying, if we do a few things differently, we'll be able to win it. So they gave us what they had. But we answered that. And if you ask me if this was last year's team, I'm not sure we win this game. You know, the Knicks bended. I think that's the right word, but they didn't break. They didn't break. And you could say, oh, this is a young team. We should have done it. But remember, Orlando had our number last year. It was a different Orlando team, and this is a different Knicks team. But we struggled with them last season. But this season, at least this game, we did not. The bench had 27 points, but on the season, our bench is scoring 45 points a game. Small sample size, I get it, but the bench has been playing well. It was good to see Cam and RJ play together. When Brunson went out, Rose didn't come in. IQ came in, so IQ played with that starting unit. So IQ actually saw minutes at the point guard position, and he played with Rose. So he saw minutes at the shooting guard position, and he played phenomenal. I don't even care about his points. He played phenomenal. Like I said, we'll get into that. But it was good to see Cam and RJ play together. As far as our defense, I thought our defense was pretty good. We're 7th in the league right now. Small sample size. Teams are shooting just 41% against us. They're shooting, just 30% from us from three. That's through 2 games. The NBA.com last night, when I was, preparing for the show, they didn't have the 3 games. So as far as, opponents shooting against us, it was 30% from the 3-point line from, through 2 games. Again, a small sample size, but I like what I see. A lot of times we'll see the perimeter defense is not good. People are getting, into the lane. But if they're not scoring, it bodes well. It bodes well for us. Defensively, I thought Mitch was a monster. And Mitch, let me see what Mitch had. He played 30 minutes last night, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 5 offensive. I'm sorry, I can't get past the lack of defensive rebounding for Mitch. And I get it. He plays out on the perimeter, so he's out of position, yada, yada, yada. 3 block shots. But again, for Mitch, defensively, his stats doesn't even tell the story, how he was just roaming the paint, controlling the paint. If he wasn't blocking it, he was deflecting it. He was active. He's better defending on the perimeter this season, moving his feet, pretty well. His defensive IQ seems to have, increased some. I really like what I'm seeing from Mitchell Robinson on the defensive end. Again, a lot of what he does doesn't show up in the stat sheet. The Knicks out rebounded them. Right now we're top 5 in the league, which is not surprising. I think we've been that over the past 3 seasons. So hopefully our defense will end up in the top 10. If you got a top 10 offense and you got a top 10 defense, you got a top 15 offense, that's pretty good. Let me check in with the chat. D World of Hoops, Mitch is pivotal to our interior enforcement. Yes, he is. Pudge, Mitch went off. And he also said Jules went off. Shut the haters up. Yankees fans forever. Teams will underestimate the Knicks this year. Yeah. Paris Duggar, Orlando came to win. They were good enough to win. We're just better now. We are definitely better now. How are we 20th with pace and first in shot attempts? Yeah, I hear you. Unless I read it wrong, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But that's when I went to, maybe it wasn't updated, but it did say through 3 games, the Knicks were 20th in pace. Maybe I was looking at the wrong thing. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong. So let's talk about, the Knicks offensively. Let me give you my thoughts on that. Like I said before, we're still moving the ball. We're still moving our body. 18 offensive rebounds. Randall played well. basically he's our secondary ball handler, and I'm okay with that, right? Brunson brings the ball down, facilitates the offense most of the time. Randall is basically our secondary ball handler. Fournier will bring it down at times. Cam will bring it down and initiate the offense at times. RJ will do the same. But basically, Randall is our secondary facilitator. He's playing well. It was good to see him and Banchero go at it, that matchup, within the game. I like that. And he played well. He only shot 22% from three, right? And still wind up shooting 52.5 from the game. So I'm really pleased in 34 minutes and what I'm seeing from Julius Randle. His defense is hit or miss, but at least there's a willingness on the defensive and to stay in front of his guy, to stay engaged, to move his feet. And sometimes he's successful with it, and sometimes he's not, but he's not the only one. So I like what I saw from Randall. Brunson is just doing Brunson things. He played 33 minutes, 21.6 assists, like I said, efficient throughout. This is who we thought we were getting, or at least those who were fans of the signing. This is what we thought and knew we were getting from Brunson. The poise, even when Orlando came back, I never felt nervous. I never felt threatened, that the game was out of hand. A few times it was just himself, just able to create a shot with the pull-up jumper to get us back in the game. Just really, really heady. And it changes things. So for Brunson, his stats look good, but it's not what he does is beyond, is beyond the stats. RJ Barrett, 37.5 minutes, 20.6 rebounds, didn't shoot well from the field, was 3 for 7 from the 3-point line. I didn't even realize he came into this game and even, into the game 0 for 11 from 3-point land. And then eventually he hit 3 of them last night, 75% from the free throw line. He ended up with 20 points, most of them in the second half. But he's just, I think he's not hitting shots. That's for sure. He's not hitting shots, especially if there's any movement and he has to hit off the dribble. He has to shoot off the dribble. He's struggling with that, a little bit. Obviously, he's struggling from 3. But Tibbs is riding with him, right? There was ample opportunity to give Cam more minutes. I think Cam played 14 minutes. But RJ is Tibbs' guy, and he rocked with him through the struggles. And that's not a bad thing, because you got to think about it as a coach. You want to do what's best for the team, but you're also building a relationship with your players, and you want to let them know that I trust you. I trust you that you're going to find your way through this. You're going to work your way out of this. And you're a big part of whatever we're going to do this season. RJ Barrett is a big part of it. Make no mistake about it. And so it's not always a good thing for you to struggle one game or 2 games, and the next thing you know, you're sitting on the bench, you're out, especially if you're one of those main key guys. A coach will usually rock with you. Good game, bad game, they're going to rock with you. And that's what, Tibbs is doing with RJ. And I can't really argue, with that. Like I said earlier, at times I thought he forced things a little bit. But for the most part, he's playing within the flow of the game. I'm surprised he only had 1 assist. Maybe I read that wrong as well, because he seemed to be moving the ball. That's another small issue with RJ. He can get tunnel vision, and he's just going straight to the basket. But now it seems like he's reading the defense when he's driving, making the interior passes to Mitch, spraying it out to the 3-point line. Again, it's coming, but it's kind of slow. I want this game to get a little crisper, just a little crisper. It's coming. We're about to play some tough teams, right? We got Charlotte on Wednesday. We got Milwaukee on Friday. We got Cleveland on Sunday. We're going to need RJ Barrett point blank, period. There's just no way around it. If the Knicks are going to reach their ceiling, whatever that is, we're going to need RJ. We're going to need RJ Barrett Pudge says start Cam. He plays stiff. He does, but he's one of our better players on the team. DJ Shuttle, appreciate you rocking with me this morning. Magic played respectfully, but the team got a quality win. I'll take it. Soulfinger 12, no queen, you said that right. He had 1 assist. I could have swore he made some good. Maybe because I'm watching the game, but I'm also keying in on certain things. And one of the things I'm keying on is when RJ Barrett has the ball, what is his decision making like? Is he just going to the basket or he's trying to find people? So, it's possible that they just didn't make the shot. But I thought, I thought he was, moving the ball a little better. RJ not finishing. Shout out to JJ, always rocking with me. I appreciate you. RJ not finishing layups over Cole Anthony is a concern. Yeah, I gotta go to cleaning the glass subscription only service to see. It's so early. What his finishing rate was the past 2 seasons for his position. His finishing at the rim was less than the 20th percentile. I don't know exactly, but less than the 20th percentile. And for the number of shots, at least the first few seasons in the leagues he took at the rim, it needs to be better than that. Like, that's going to be your bread and butter. That's fine, but you need to convert. Let's see what it is. I know he struggled to convert, but I think for the most part he's been converting at the rim well. I will take a look at that. iHeart only had 18 minutes, and I think this is how it's going to go from that center position. And I like the versatility and the choice that Tibbs had. But in that 18 minutes, 7 points, 9 rebounds. Be a star in your role. Whatever your minutes are, come in and make an impact. I think he had 9 rebounds, 4 of them were offensive. So he's also getting a second chance opportunities. The difference between him and Mitch is Mitch converts his offensive rebounds, and iHeart seems to me just gets the offensive rebound and kind of passes it out and just gives the team, another opportunity. But they're both really, really good on the offensive boards. That bodes well for us. I think we had 18 offensive rebounds in the game. But I like iHeart's defensive rebound. I'm sorry, I'm old school. I like the offensive rebounds, but I need defensive rebounds from my centers and power forwards. So he made the most of his minutes. Obi, 14 minutes, 10 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. Again, making the most of his minutes. And you can see the versatility in Obi's games. He's comfortable putting the ball on the floor. That behind the back pass to RJ Barrett on the fast break showed, number one, he's not greedy, looking for just highlight plays, that he's like plugged in and engaged and wants to make the right play, right? And that was the right play. And it also shows his awareness, right? He's not just running down the court. Oh my God, here's an opportunity for me to get 2 points. He saw the floor. So I love what I'm seeing from Obi Toppin. He's moving without the ball. Cam with the alley oop from out of bounds. That was a sick pass from Cam. Right on point. He double teamed Ross at the top of the key. This is Obi Toppin, and then got back to his man. That also shows defensive awareness. So when I'm looking at guys, this is what I'm looking at: the game within the game. How are you playing? What are you doing on defense? Not just what are they doing statistically, but I'm looking at individual aspects of their game. And for me, if I like what I'm seeing, I'm gonna say I like what I see. But I'm not wedded to a narrative. If the narrative changes and the player gets better, I'm gonna say that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Obi Toppin, making the most of his minutes. Cam only played 14 minutes. I thought he played more than that. 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 for 4 from the field, 75% field goal. That pass to Obi Toppin. Cam Reddish can just play. Cam Reddish just, like some guys just know how to play. The game is easy. All right, I got the shot. I'm going to take it. They closing out. I'm just gonna take 2 dribbles and pull up. Oh, this guy's open. Let me pass it to him. And he's settling in. Early in preseason, he might have been pressing a little bit, forcing some shots, but now he's just settled in. And I like what I'm seeing from him defensively, as well. So he only played 14 minutes, but again, we got the most, out of Cam Reddish. 28 played 27 minutes. It didn't look like it. It didn't look like 28 played 27 minutes. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Did not shoot well. 2 for 8 from the field. All 3-pointers. Just not a good shooting night for him. But defensively on Ross, I thought he did okay. By the time this season is over, we're going to need 28 shooting as well. And, for those of us who believe that the Knicks are a playoff team, you really want guys who've been to the playoffs or who've played at a high level. So I think he may have went to the playoffs once or twice with Orlando. They were never the favorites, maybe 7th, 8th seed, but his international competition. So in other words, he's not somebody that's going to shrink when things get really tough, and you need that. So on this team, we got Brunson, we got Fournier, we got Rose, who I think in a playoff environment, they're not going to shrink. We'll see. Pudge, 18. He played 18 minutes. Okay, maybe I got that wrong. D Rose only 8 minutes, and I'm okay with that. Brunson played 33 minutes, Rose 8, right? That's 41 minutes. So quickly, like we talked about before, got some of those point guard minutes, and I'm about to get to him right now. The bench, like I said, 27 points, 45 points on the season. So that's my observations on the game. I'm going to get into the player spotlights. Just go with the truth of D's World of Hoops. Good stuff. Yeah. I mean, listen, if somebody is not playing well, they are not playing well. Period, point blank. You got to say something about it, but when they start playing well, you can't just be like, oh, well, let's see if this could, you got to say they played well. Evans, Marina, I hope I got that right. Evans shooting off the bench will be valuable. Yeah, no doubt about it. DJ Shuttle, Cam is a baller. He just needs to step up his training and hustle. Cam is just a smooth dude. There's just some guys that's on the court, they're just graceful, and it looks like they're not working hard. That's how I say this all the time. Brooklyn Durant looks. He's just smooth. It doesn't look like he's playing hard, because he's graceful. But I believe he is. All right. Let's get to IQ. Now, the player spotlight is not the player of the game. It's just a player that I want to highlight. 23 minutes, some of those at point guard, some of those at shooting guard. He didn't score, right? He was 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3-point land, didn't go to the foul line. But in my opinion, IQ was so on point last night. 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 block. But what I was impressed with, and I really hope this continues, and if the Knicks are going to reach their ceiling, in my opinion, we're going to need quickly off the bench to play like this. He played within the flow of the game. I didn't see any forced shots. I didn't see him pushing, going up against a brick wall, trying to get in the lane. He's missing the shot. The next time he's going to try to go in again, over and over and over again. No. He played within the flow of the game. He read the game, and like Tibbs says, the game will tell you what to do. That's kind of true, but you got to have people listening to what the game is telling them. And last night, IQ was listening. He put the Twitter beef or rumor, whatever you want to call it, to bed with the 2 on-point passes to Cam Reddish. So you can't tell me these guys are not either watching these shows or reading Twitter. They are. But he was fantastic. And I think this is what Tibbs means, and I agree that you cannot shoot well and play well. He didn't shoot well, but he played well. He controlled the game. He was under control. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. He made good decisions. He got others involved. He didn't take bad shots. He kept the ball moving. He played good defense. I was extremely happy with IQ. Now, if this is IQ for the rest of the season, I'm super happy. I'm super happy. And the thing about IQ, I really like him in terms of his shots. I really like when the ball comes back to him and he's spotting up, along the 3-point line. I like that better than when he's trying to create a shot. When he starts trying to create a shot, it's always an adventure because it's some sort of step back three or some low percentage shot that he may make, he may not. But when the ball is moving around and they catch him, it comes back to him and he's spotted up behind the 3-point line. I'm always confident that shot is going to go in. So kudos to IQ. And this is the thing with all of our players, especially our young players. It's about how does this become not just a good game, and I've said this before. How does it become? This is just who I am. This is just how I play basketball. I make good decisions. I get everybody involved. I take my shots within the flow of the game. It's not a good game for me. This is just me. This is just how I play, and that's where I want quickly to get to. And a lot of our other players as well. Mitch will have good games. Just get to the point where it's not a good game. It's how I roll. It's what I do. Game in and game out. So that's what I'm wishing for Emmanuel quickly, because that's going to help us as a team. Remember, we're not top heavy. We don't have these stars, superstars, where the game is on the line. You're within 2-3 points. You could just throw the ball into them. Everybody knows they're going to get the shot. The coaches are strategizing against the shot, and they still make the shot because they're that good. We don't have that, at least yet. Maybe one of the players on our team will evolve into that as the season goes on, but I don't see that right now. That means all hands on deck for us. RJ, Brunson, Randall, our top 3 players, they have to have good seasons for us to reach our ceiling. Our bench has to play well, and Quickly is going to be the leader of the bench because he's going to have the ball in his hands. Rose is playing 8 to 12 minutes, right? Quickly is going to have the ball in his hand. He's going to spearhead that second unit. His decision making has to be on point. Walter White, I think the shot will fall once he gets used to facilitating more. Yeah. Mike Bowl, anyone criticizing that performance doesn't know basketball. DJ Shuttle, his passing was where he needs to be. So that's IQ. In terms of the team stat of the night, the Knicks out-rebounded them 50-41. The assists, 24-14, 7 steals, 3 blocks. The Knicks turned the ball over 13 times. The Knicks are number 1 in assist-to-turnover ratio. I believe is for every turnover, the Knicks have 2.13 assists for number 1 in the league. So the Knicks are taking care of the ball and they're sharing the ball. A great combination. Shot 46% of the field. I'll get back to the 3-point percentage. 72% from the free throw line. Like we really got to get that. We really got to get that together. I'm super excited about these 3 teams coming up because I just like to see the Knicks in that type of tough environment to get a better sense of our offense, better sense of our defense, the better sense of how we play as a team and individually against better teams. So I'm looking forward to three teams coming up. But the reason I'm bringing that up is that if you want to beat really good teams, your free throw percentage has to be better. Especially in the clutch. I don't know what their free throw percentage is in the clutch. I'll see if I can find that stat, but we got to get our free throw percentage up. Points in the paint, 56. Second chance points, 27. Fast break points a bit down, just 8 this game. The Knicks coming into this game was easily in the top 5 in fast break points. Let's see where they are now. Our 3-point percentage, we're not hitting the 3-point shot very well this season. We're shooting 32% for the season, 30% last night. We're ranked 25th in the league in 3-point shooting. Last season, we were ranked 13th in the league. We shot 37% from 3. Am I worried? Not really. I think, some of that is RJ Barrett. Some of that is Julius Randle. I mean, we knew coming into the season that we don't have snipers on this team, right? We have those that can hit a 3-pointer, which to me is not the same as being a 3-point shooter, right? So RJ's not shooting it well. I'm sure that's bringing it. He was 0 for 11 up until maybe the third quarter. Randall is, I think, 6 for 18 for like 33%. Fournier was 2 for 8 from the 3-point line. That didn't help. But as Fournier gets going, as RJ Barrett, gets going, that's going to help our 3-point percentage. And we need that because we need the space. If you're hitting a 3-point shot, they have to defend you out there. That leaves more space in the middle, opens up driving lanes. So hopefully our 3-point shooting comes around. I believe it will. Louisiana Knicks, Cam needs more minutes. He could be a nice player with more minutes. But this is the thing. Where are the minutes coming from? Because you got to think about it. To give one person more minutes, you got to take minutes away from someone else. Cam is playing behind RJ. So if you give Cam more minutes, that's less minutes for RJ. Or he's not backing up 48, even though they did play together. So maybe less minutes for 48 to 5 minutes. I think it's going to work its way out. I think as the season goes on, those who are playing well will get more minutes. Those who are not, their minutes will drop. D's World of Hoops to RJ defense. He did pick it up in the second half, but was atrocious in the first half. RJ, to me, gets picked off way too easy. It just gets picked off way too easy. And I don't really see that fight to get back into the play. Make yourself skinny, make yourself small. Like they just bam, hit him like it's football. He got to make himself a little skinny to try to get through. So yeah, you get hit, but you don't get hit full on, and it gives you a better chance to get back into the play. Like he gets picked off, boom, full body blows, and he's pretty much out of the play. There has to be something to, I saw him on Cole Anthony for a bit. He was on Morant. Now, Josh, shout out to Josh, who I met for the first time at the MBK event at the Garden, said that, RJ is a poor off the ball defender. So maybe that's why Tibbs put him on Morant or put him on, Cole Anthony. It's not a great on the ball defender, as well. So we'll see how that goes. Keith Turner, I hope y'all give RJ some of that heat like you do IQ. Everybody thought he would be better with a point guard. He still stinks. I don't know about still, because I thought he played well the second half of last season. I mean, he's getting off to a slow start. It's 3 games in. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on RJ Barrett, but we're going to need him. We're going to need him to turn it around. We're going to need him to make good decisions, and we're going to need him to pass the ball around, All right, let's get into the next game. I was trying to do this in 30. All right, I'll figure it out. All right, next game we play Charlotte. Right now the Knicks are 2-1. Charlotte is also 2-1. They beat San Antonio 129-102. They beat Atlanta 126-109. So they putting points on the board without LaMelo Ball, without at least this last game, Rozier didn't play. They lost to New Orleans, 112 to 124. I don't think this is right. Their offense and defensive rating. I don't think that this is right. I think their defensive rating is better than that, I think. But anyway, it's kind of early in the season for offensive defensive rating. But last game, Dennis Smith Jr. started for them. Y'all remember Dennis Smith Jr. and he played well. Dennis Smith Jr. looks like a basketball player. He's not out there trying to bang everything, just trying to get to the cup and score. He's playing a real cerebral game at that point guard position. It was really good to see. Kelly Oubre Jr. started at the shooting guard, Gordon Hayward, small forward, PJ Washington at the power forward, and Mason Plumlee started for them at center. So we played them Wednesday at Madison Square Garden at 7:30 p.m. A lot of people thought when we were going over the roster comparisons in the preseason that because they didn't have Miles Bridges, that the Knicks are going to automatically be better than Charlotte. You got to play the games. You got to play the game. Clifford is back. I call him Tom Thibodeau's brother. Steve Clifford, I want to say. He's back coaching them, his second stint with them. And he's similar to Tom Thibodeau, right? They're going to be super prepared for the game. You're going to earn what you get. If there's injuries, next man up. Do what you can in your, play well in your role, in your minutes. So they're going to be out there hustling. And they put up 129 points, 126 points, 112 points. So without LaMelo Ball, without Miles Bridges, they're putting points on the board. So this will be, a little test for the Knicks. I expect the Knicks to win. But I don't think it's going to be a walk in the park for the New York Knicks. All right, let me just check in with the chat before I, get out of here. Actually, let me just do this. What's next? Tonight, 9 p.m., the Just Nicking It show right here on Dope Soul Sports Talk. Me, Stafford Don, Jerrell, Tsunami Jones will be doing our show tonight. Wednesday, the pregame show on MBK, Nothing But Knicks. They do a pregame show usually around 3:30 before every game, and I'm usually there. So tomorrow I should be able to make it. I will be there for that. And then Thursday, I'm right back here, 8 a.m. for the morning recap to recap the Charlotte show. So shout out to Pudge, Paris Duggar, JJ, Keith Turner, Louisiana Knicks, Andrew. I appreciate you. That was a good early test last night. I expect another victory at home versus the Hornets. I'm with you. D-Roller Hoops, appreciate you rocking with me. I thought Evan looked good defensively. He did. Louisiana Knicks. Don Pula, good morning. Appreciate you. Bodega Wi-Fi. Mike Boy. I think I got everything. Sango, Waldron, Soulfinger 12, West Coast. I appreciate you. Parish Duggar, appreciate you always. Ally Wise, Walter White. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but I do appreciate you. Nev the Disruptor, appreciate you. A Marina, appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. It's early in the morning, but I like to do it early so I can get on with my day. Thank you so much for all of your support on MBK here. When I see you guys at events, I appreciate the love. I don't take it for granted. Thank you for supporting the show. I'll see you next time.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. Feel that? The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul, sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope Soul,
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul,
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul,
What?